Welcome back to Going Solo. And tonight we're playing the final scenario of our Geppetto series, Geppetto at Maple Lane. So this is the last in the last Geppetto scenario. So let's go over our special rules and then we can get started. So with Geppetto, of course, we have our minions, which are our three little puppets here. Each one of them spawns each round, and they can move up to 2 spaces away from Geppetto. But if they get somehow end up more than 2 spaces away, they have to spend their next movement targeting Geppetto and moving directly back. So they have an attack power of 1, they have a health of 1, and their movement speed is the same as whatever Geppetto's is based on his terror or bloodlust track. Next, we have Maple Lane, which we've played before. The street spaces are considered outdoors. The house spaces are considered indoors. Each house can only be searched once. So once we search it, we have to place a marker showing that it has been searched, and we cannot search that place again. Also, if there are victims inside a house that we're trying to get into, we have to use a convince card rather than a movement card to get in. So we have to convince those victims to let us in. Then we go to the scenario-specific special rules. Geppetto starts with the Puppets Everywhere Dark Power, which means if a victim is killed adjacent to us or on our space, that the horror track increases by 1. And our final girl starts with the machete item, which does do an additional 2 damage when we use it. However, victims will not follow while we have the machete in our hands. So if we're going to try to save victims, we need to put the machete in the backpack to get the victims to follow us. So that's we might have to juggle that a little bit. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue. But I believe that's all of our special rules for this session. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Nancy knew this day would come. She knew seeing the Puppet Master again was inevitable. He'd haunted her dreams for years. Her parents had moved her to see a renowned dream therapist and deal with her trauma. She'd watched her sister get killed by the dreadful Carney, helpless to do anything, and feared he'd one day come for her. She'd finally started letting her guard down when it happened. She heard the screams first. One of the houses in her neighborhood had gone up in a blaze. It was raining and gloomy, but not rainy enough to contain the fire. As she looked out the window, she saw his terrifying visage, and their eyes locked. He waved at her, and she could tell he'd never give up until he possessed her. She grabbed the machete she had kept and hoped she'd never have to use. She'd followed the news clippings and watched the ghost hunters report. She knew that the man, if he could even be called that, wouldn't die as long as the dark powers that he dealt in protected him. She'd kill every last one of those damn puppets and finish off their immortal master for good this time. No more victims, no more fear, no more puppets. She'd finish him or die trying before she became his child. Alright, so our final girl tonight is Nancy. She has 4 health and 5 saves are needed to unlock her special power. So we'll see if we can get that unlocked. But the primary goal, of course, is to take down Geppetto, which I do have a weapon already, so that might help with that. But first, we go to our starting events. And another special rule for this particular scenario is that we start with 2 events rather than 1. So let's go ahead and get started here with our first event. It's raining. Panic victims in the intersection, then move every victim that is on a street space to its adjacent house. So victims in the intersection, there's none in the intersection. So then move every victim that is on a street space to its adjacent house. So let's see, that would be this one. This would be this one. This would be this one. And this would be this one. So I've actually got a victim in the house with me now. In the Smalley's house where I am starting. All right. So then discard this card. And then our second event is fire. Roll a die and place the fire token in one of these two spaces. 1, which is the boyfriend's house. So let's find our fire token here. And it will go in the boyfriend's house. Any victims in the house or that panic into the house are killed. You or enemies in the house take 1 damage. The house may no longer be entered or searched. So that's a space that I will not be able to search. Come on, there it is. So it goes into the boyfriend's house, which means that Meeple is dead. All right. So we have the fire at the boyfriend's house. And we will keep that out just for reference. Yeah, that one's discarded. Okay. Now we can get started. So we start off with a bloodlust increased to 1 space. All right. So I've got a decision to make here. I'm in the Southwest. Odds and ends is the item that's available here. If I leave this house, I'd have to do a convince to get back in. I've got the machete in my hand, so at least for this turn, I can't get this victim to follow me. And I don't know what Mr. Geppetto's gonna do quite yet, so I think I'm going to try to stay here. So I'm just going to do a focus maybe to reduce the horror level. That's 2 partials. I'll use my short rest and weak attack to turn 1 of them. Which would reduce it by 1. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of too many cards yet. So we will take the 1-time penalty. And that's all I'm going to do because I want to buy a search card so that I can search this house at the next opportunity. So I've got 5 points here. I'm going to take a distraction. And I'm going to take a search so that maybe I can get up to 3 dice and have a better chance at getting something done here. Okay, so that's my turn. Now, a puppet spawns, and then the puppet gets to move 1 space towards the closest victims, which are all at least 2 spaces away. It's going to move towards one of the ones that are a larger group. So it's either this one or this one. We'll have it come down here. Or actually, I'll use the panic mechanic. 2 or a 1 or a 2. There we go, a 1. So it's going to go up here. Okay. So, and then Geppetto would get to attack somebody if anybody was in his space, but they are not. So, we take our first tarot card. Did you hear what happened on Maple Lane? We get 2 events and then draw another tarot card. Whew. Okay. We're just diving into this, aren't we? Next card. What is going on over there? Place 1 new victim on each exit space. So each exit space gets a victim. A new victim. There's tons of victims in here. And then our next event card. Party in the Burbs. Place 4 new victims in any house that contains at least 1 victim. Alright. So 4 new victims in any house that contains at least 1 victim. I think I'm going to put them here. And maybe I can head that direction to try to fill out my card here. So that might work in my favor, maybe. All right. So, then we draw another tarot card. Replacement parts. Place 2 new victims. I've only got 1. So I'll use this dead guy. At Geppetto's starting location, which is right with Geppetto. Then place Geppetto in the space with the closest victim. He's already in the space with the closest victim. Then we get a target and attack. So he kills 1 of these. For each victim killed, take an additional bloodlust. So 2 bloodlust. And there's no movement, so he can't move to go kill a victim. But the horror level does go up 1 for that bloodlust. Okay. This is escalating extremely quickly. All right. So, a victim was killed, so there is panic. So this guy right here is going to panic. And they take a 4, which means they run in this direction. Okay. And then it's the upkeep phase. For the moment, I'm going to move the machete to my backpack so that I can take victims to follow me, so I can get victims to follow me. And then that is the upkeep phase. We are now back to my phase. Alright, so right off the bat, I'm going to start with a distraction. Come on. 2 partials. I really need to be able to walk. Ugh. I really need to be able to walk. So I could either do 4 time, I could sacrifice 4 time to get rid of a horror, or only 2 time and I add a horror, which the horror is going to go up very quickly. With 2 partials, and I can't really sacrifice any of these cards. Especially if I want to move. Okay. So I guess I'm going to give up 2 time and increase horror because I need to be able to buy cards too. Alright. Search. Dang it. Another partial. I'm gonna switch dice. Alright, but I can lose 2 time and go up 1 in horror. If I go up 2 in horror, then I lose a dice, and I definitely don't want to do that. So yeah, it's gonna have to be that. Alright, let's do different dice now. Let's walk, maybe. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we can move 1 space. Okay, and then I'm gonna try to walk again. I won't be able to buy anything, but I mean, that's what I gotta do. Alright, so I can move 1 space if I sacrifice a health. I'm going to do that. So I can move 1 space. Then I will save these victims. Give myself 2 time. Give myself the planning action card. And give myself the long rest action card. From saving those victims, okay. Let's see, what's next on the card? I lose 1 health, which I did. Wait, no, I got a success on that one. Okay, yes. So I've sacrificed my health. Yeah. And then I take a penalty of 2 time, which I was at 1 already, which immediately ends my turn. Or ends my action phase. And I have no time to spend on anything, but I can take my 0 cost cards. Okay. This is not going well so far. But I think I can come back from this. Okay, distraction goes here. Okay. So now we are back to Geppetto. So he spawns a puppet, and the puppet can move. I'll move this one down here since it's closer to these 3. And then Geppetto can attack, but there's nobody to attack, so we draw a terror card. We are all gonna die. It seems like we are. Okay. So, each phase, the puppets do first, and then Geppetto does. So, puppet, move, and attack. Bloodlust goes up, dark power is revealed. If all the puppets are on the board, Geppetto cannot be killed. Any damage that would remove his final health token is ignored. Okay. Then this one's going to move over here and attack. All right. Then Geppetto gets to move and attack. Let's see, it's 2 spaces. He can target... he specifically targets victims. So the closest victims to him, where there are the most of them, is one of these 2. So he's just going to go for these. There. Doom. We have an event card. And our event is Friendly Neighbors. Roll +1 dice when convincing. Perfect. I will need that. I do feel like I will need that. Okay. Alright, so that was Geppetto. Then we come down and we have another of the same. So this one will attack again. This one will attack again. Which gives us another event card. The Smallies. Place 2 special victims in the Smallies house. Each time one of the Smallies is killed, it's an extra bloodlust. Discard this card when the Smallies are no longer on the board. Okay. And then it's Geppetto's turn. So let's see. He's going to move 1, 2 and kill this one. So we discard a terror card. Our bloodlust is all the way at the top now. Okay, but that's the end of Geppetto's turn. I've got the machete. Maybe I can do something here. Otherwise, this is going to be a really short game. Alright. So I couldn't buy any cards last time, but I did get a couple because of saving some victims. The horror level is already... Oh, wait. Did I miss something? Oh, no, there it is. Okay. If no victims were killed, increase bloodlust twice. But victims were killed, so don't need to worry about that. Okay. So the horror track is pretty high. None of the victims that were killed were next to me, so that didn't put that into effect. Let's go ahead and do a No. Not really a whole lot I can do. So let's do a focus. And completely fail at that. Let's try different dice again. Oh, well, I was rolling for another focus. But anyway, I failed at both of them. Actually, I am going to sacrifice my short rest and weak attack cards for that second focus so that I only lose 1 additional and focus, and the horror level does decrease slightly. Alright. I've got 3 time left. I'm going to take a search card and a convince card. Because I need to get into that house. Up there right beside me. And of course I will take my 2 walk cards here. Okay. Back to Geppetto's turn. First, the puppets. Spawns on his space. Moves towards the closest victim, 3 spaces. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 4. Okay, so I think that's obvious. And then he gets 1 more space. And he's going to go toward the smallies, because that's probably the next biggest group closest to him. Alright. And then we have 1, 2, 3, also going toward the smallies. This one's already in the house with the victim, so no need for them to move. And then it's Geppetto's turn, which he could attack anybody that's in his space, but there is not anybody in his space. Dear Lord, are those our friends? Let's see. Targeting victims, move, and attack. Okay. So, they've got 3 spaces, so we start with the puppets. Always start with the minions. So let's see. These would go into here. Kill one of those. So Bloodlust would actually increase twice because this is one of the smallies. So we would discard 2 terror cards. This is not good. This one would come here, kill the other smallie. We would discard 2 terror cards. This one would kill this person, and we would discard this terror card. So we're out of terror cards now. Then Geppetto would move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He would come here at minimum. Let's just have him go here to stay closer to where I am. And then roll a die for each victim with or adjacent to a puppet. Okay, nobody's adjacent to a puppet. So good. And then they all get to attack again. Yeah, they all get to attack again, but there's nobody in their spaces to attack. Alright, now it's the panic phase. Nobody's in their spaces to panic, so we're okay there. And then it's the upkeep phase, which means since we're out of terror cards, the finale gets revealed, which is Remember Them. So let's see, the minions get to move and attack. Geppetto gets to move towards the final girl and attack twice. And when revealed, spawn all remaining puppets to the board. When moving puppets, they move 1 space less than normal. Okay, so they can only move 2 spaces now instead of 3 when they move. Okay, and that's the upkeep phase. So we are back to me, to my phase. And obviously I am going to start by trying to convince these people to let me in. I get to roll an extra dice because of friendly neighbors. So I get 3 dice. Come on, please, please, please. 2 successes. So I get to enter the adjacent house, which is right here. I've not got the machete in my hand, so they will follow me. But before that, I'm going to search. Ooh, a partial. If I don't, the horror level's going to go back up. Which I think it's about to go back up anyway. Oh, this is gone. Oh, there's really nothing for it to go back up to. Okay. Let's see. The convince, I got to enter because I got 2. Okay, this one, I didn't get any. I don't really want to get rid of... Okay, I'll give them a walk and the long rest. Just because when I save a victim, I'm going to get 2 health back. And that way I only lose 1 time, and I can take the top card, which is the crucifix. Discard to ignore any horror level increase. Okay. Or end an enemy's movement when they are in an adjacent space. So I can end his movement before he gets to me, or I can get rid of a horror level increase by discarding the crucifix. Alright. And then we're going to walk. Hopefully. I think I messed up. Because I did not take the health away when I did that first walk. Wait, no, I didn't do the walk. I did a convince. And I got 2 on that. Then the search. Is when I sacrifice the items. Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, so our next walk. Oh, come on. You know what? Fine. Take that. So I'm down to my last health token. But I do get to, I lose 2 time, but I do get to move. I'm taking 2 victims with me and saving both of them. So I gain 2 health from that. And then I can move 2 spaces. Let me think about this here for just a moment, because he's going to get to move, and he can move 3 spaces. So the only place he would not be able to get to me is if I move here. He wouldn't be able to get to me this round. Because if he gets to me, he can attack me twice, and I don't want that to happen right now. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I've got 3 points. I'm going to take these cards back. I've got 3 points, so I can't get a Furious Strike like I wanted to do. So, let's take... which actually these should be, I should have put tokens here before, but I didn't, so I'm going to put them now. Got 3 points. I could take a distraction to try to decrease the horror level, but I'm not too worried about that at this point. I can't take the Furious Strike. I think I'm going to take a Sprint and a Close Call. Because he should not be able to get to me this round. So hopefully the next round I can run out, attack him, and then continue to run past him. Because he's going to come directly for me. But anyway. Anywho. It is the Geppetto's turn. So we start with the puppets, and they get to move towards victims and attack. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. Victim. Gone. Bloodlust would go up, but there's no terror cards. 1, 2, 3. Another victim. And 1, 2. Another victim. And that's all of the puppets. And then the killer gets to move towards me. And I believe it's just 1 move. Yeah, just 1 move. So, 1, 2, 3. And since, another thing to remember is that since all 3 puppets are on the board, I can't take his final health token, but I can still attack him. So that's something. Okay. So, panic. We got 1 person to panic. That's a 4. So they stay put. Alright, then upkeep. I'm going to put the machete in my hand. Because I need to be able to attack this guy when I come out of here. Okay. And now we are back to me. Alright, let's see here. I really wish I could attack him from here, but I can't. Because if I go out there, I'm going to have to stop to attack him. And then he's going to get 2 attacks on me the next round. So I've just got to make sure I have maybe the retaliate and the guard. Maybe with that I can defend off his attacks. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to try to... I need to have 6 time when I end my turn. But by sprinting, I'm risking losing at least 1. Possibly 2 if I completely fail. Okay. Let's do it. Or do I just want to stay here and have him come to me? And then I can definitely get both of them. Oh, but then the puppet will come after me too because I'm the closest. And so just those 2 ain't gonna cut it. And I can't go back in that house because I don't have a convince card. If I go out there, at least one of those puppets is going to come after me. So I will have to take at least one attack. But if I've got a guard and retaliate, I won't completely die. Okay, let's go ahead and do a sprint. Let's do this. No, I haven't rolled yet. So no, I'm not going to do the sprint. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 cards. I'm just going to end my turn. Have him come to me. I'll take a guard and a retaliate. So I could possibly get at least 3 or 4 points off of him. He'll have 5 left. I've got a weak attack where I could do at least like 3 more. As long as I'm not down to my final health token, because if I... Yeah. Okay. Yep, this one's taking me a long time to decide, but I'm just going to take a retaliate and a guard. That's all 6 of my points. And I'm ending my turn there. I'll take my walks too. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll only take one of my walks. Okay. Okay. Breathe. Okay. Now it's their turn. That puppet attacks that guy. Another puppet comes over here and attacks me. I'm going to take the attack, which means I'm down to my final health token, which means I get an extra dice. This puppet goes towards the closest victim to them and attacks. All right. Then it's Geppetto's turn. He comes to me and attacks. The first time he attacks, I'm going to use a retaliate. Alright, and I got 2 successes, which means I reduce the damage by 2, and he takes 2 damage, plus 2 damage for the machete. Which means his puppets everywhere goes away, which wasn't really doing much anyway, because nobody ever died adjacent to me. That I remember. I don't think they did. I hope they didn't. Alright. But then he attacks me again. And I do guard. Huh. Okay. I will get rid of my 2 focus cards. Not worried about those at the moment. To turn one of these into a success, so I can reduce the damage by 2, which means I take no damage. Perfect. That's the end of their turn. And if I don't take him out this turn, which I'm not going to, I think I'm pretty much dead. So let's see what we can do here. Because I don't think I'm going to make it here. Oh, I forgot to turn this card over for my special ability. Each time you lose normal health, you may reveal a black final health token from the general pool and swap it with your black final health token if you wish. If you do not, remove it from the game. You cannot do this with a white final health token. Okay, well, I just lost some health. So let's go ahead and put out the extras here. And see if I can increase my chances of winning. All right, so I can reveal one. And if I save any extra victims, I get help. Okay, so let's do this one. It's blank, so I'm definitely not going to swap it. Okay, now we're back to my turn. I'm definitely going to... All three puppets are out, so he can't... Let me think. Think for a moment here. If I attack him directly, I only deal 3 damage. Maximum of 3 damage. Which would not kill him. I'd have to attack him a second time for that. But if I attack a puppet, that puppet can't come back for a round. And I'm going to have to kill puppets to be able to actually kill him. But if I leave the puppet, they're going to attack me 3 times and I can't survive that. Okay, so I'm going to attack the puppet. That's what I have to do. I'm going to attack the puppet. Ooh, 3 successes. That would have been helpful elsewhere, but that means I do enough damage to kill this puppet. Too bad there are not more in my space that I could kill, but I did kill the puppet. I'm going to then sprint. Yeah, because that one's going to come directly to me. And if I get to where I can move 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, either way, the puppet's going to be able to get to me, no matter where I go, moving 3 spaces. And that's a partial. So I could only move maximum of 2 spaces. I'm going to use a close call. Sacrifice. Nope, I'm not going to sacrifice health. I'm just going to re-roll one of these. Hope it's a success, and it's not. Ugh. Okay. I guess I'm going to get rid of my planning and walk. to turn this into a success. I lose a time and I can move 2 spaces. Then I'm going to do my short rest. I did get 1 success, so I lose a time, but I gain 1 health. That's all the cards I've got, so that's going to end my action phase. Take a guard. And then I think that's going to be it for me because I'm not going to be able to do anything here. Take a sprint just in case I'm able to figure out a way out of this. Okay. Now, let's see here. It is Geppetto's turn now. So first, the puppets. And an enemy's movement when they're in adjacent space. Okay, well, we'll start with this guy. 1, 2, 3. If I've got health under my final health token, then I can... Okay. Yep, that's what it's going to be. It's going to come down to whether I've got health under my final health token, if I've got any options. 1, 2. This one's going to attack me for 1. Oh, I had the other one attack me for 2. Okay, so this one only attacks me for 1. Okay. So that helps. That does help. So I can reveal another final health token here. Okay, I'm not switching for that one. Okay. And then it's Geppetto's turn. He can go here, but then I can discard my crucifix. Just discard it up there so that he has to stop his movement and can't come into my space to attack me twice. Oh, and they only get 2 movement right now. Alright, so the next round this one can come out again, but hopefully he won't be able to. Okay, so I've got a guard and a sprint. Guard and a sprint. I get to roll 3 dice again. If I can get over there and save them, I can gain another health. And Geppetto wouldn't be able to quite get to me. And neither of the puppets would as well. Alright, so let's go for that. Two successes. 2 successes, I lose a time, but I get to move 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3, save this victim. which means I get a health, which means I lose a dice, but I did gain a health. Okay, I've got 5 points. They're not going to be able to get to me this round, which is a good thing. I've got 5 points. I'm going to take a Furious Strike. So that I have something to attack with. That's 4. And I'm going to take a Close Call. That's 1. Okay. Back up there. This goes back. Oh, I'm taking my 0 cost, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Alright, enemies' turns. This one spawns with Geppetto. And they move 1 space less than normal. So he can move 1, 2. This one can go 1. This one can go 1, 2. This one can go 1, 2. And then Geppetto can go 3. 1, 2, 3. Which puts him right here beside me. Not quite at me. So nobody was able to get to anybody to attack, which is great. But right now, Geppetto can't be absolutely killed. I do only have 2 dice right now because I did gain a health back. Let's go ahead and do another short rest to try to gain more health back. One success. So I do gain a second health back, which is awesome. Okay, if I move into their space and attack, if I hit, I can kill both of the puppets. Possibly taking a damage myself, likely taking at least 1 damage myself. But I think that's what I need to do. If I don't completely fail, then I could also do a Furious Strike on Geppetto and possibly take out 4 of his health. And then I would just need to discard enough cards to have 6 so I can get a Retaliate and a Guard. Or if I take out... Ooh, because that puppet's going to come up. Okay, well, we'll figure that out. So, we're going to start with a walk. Double success. I still lose 1, but I can move. I'm good with that. Weak attack. Another double success. Awesome. So I don't take any damage, but I do 3 damage, so I can take out both of these puppets, which is great. And then I'm going to Furious Strike. Ugh. That I can't accept that. So I'm going to discard a focus and a walk to change one of these into a success. So I do hit him for 3. I do decrease the horror level by 1. But that immediately ends my turn. Which means I can't discard cards to get extra time. So I've only got 4. I'm going to buy Retaliate, because I know he's going to come after me and that puppet's going to come after me. So I am going to buy Retaliate. I might be able to do this. I might actually be able to do this. Okay. I'm getting excited now. Okay, so, but that ends my turn. I bought the Retaliate for my 4 points. I don't have any 0 costs that I can use here. So the Furious Strike goes back, the Weak Attack, and that, and that, and that, and that go back. Okay. Now, it is their turn now. So, this puppet will move and attack me once. It only does 1 point of damage. Then, Geppetto's going to attack me, and I'm going to retaliate. Back up here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my close call to reroll both of these. And that was a bad idea. Okay, well that was a bad idea, but I did it. Which means he attacks me for 2 points. So I lose. But anyway, so that is Geppetto at Maple Lane. That is the last game in our Geppetto series. So come back next week where we will get started with Dr. Fright.